We've built a society that is obsessed with physical systems, but we forget systems to help our conscious self. So we take care of our physical self, but we forget our conscious selves. In other words, we know exercise is important, we know healthy eating is important, but so many of us still fail to meditate, to practice gratitude, to understand that happiness is something that you can control within, to take on practices that make us more compassionate, more kind, more connected, to be able to turn on our intuition. So there's this whole array of conscious systems that very few people in the world right now are actually applying in their lives. And this is a shame because these things are so powerful.
Vishen Lakihani took a dream, an old laptop, and a burning desire to help us all be more of who we really are, and turned it into an empire that fuels love, connection, and impact. Best-selling author of The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, founder of Omvana, one of the top apps for meditation, and the ever-powerful Mindvalley community, Vishen is on a mission to help us change the way we learn and teach our kids. His passion to help us learn how to master ourselves infuses everything that he does, and Mindvalley has become the go-to place for learning how to master our minds, our bodies, our soul connection, our relationships, and our impact. From a simple startup where his cat was featured as part of his staff, he has grown a multinational organization with over 230 people from over 46 countries that all work to transform the lives of millions across the globe. Today, Vishen shares his thoughts on parenting and how we can shift our mindset, move out of the box, and rethink how we guide and educate our children. Vishen, thanks again very much for joining us on Empowered Kids TV today. I'm honored and really happy to have you on board.
Sure, I'm excited to be here, and I really admire and love what you're doing with your son.
Thank you. We've been working to help parents move from simply having aha moments to really making consistent shifts in their parenting paradigm. And one of the tools that I've found that has helped me to do that has been your work on consciousness engineering. So I wanted to start there by asking, what is consciousness engineering?
Well, consciousness engineering is a framework for developing human beings in a way that is more effective than simply going on a randomized personal growth journey. Let me start by saying this. I'm an engineer, and engineers are trained to think in very interesting ways in terms of solving problems. Now, the problem I was trying to solve is, what is Human 2.0? If we could completely, radically transform our education system, where would our children be when they are our age, 30, 40 years down the road, with the confluence of technology, with the confluence of spirituality and transcendent practices? What would Human 2.0 look like? And it occurred to me that to get to Human 2.0 is two things that we gotta fix. Fundamentally, these are the two levers that make us who we are. And if we fix these things, everything else shifts for us. The first lever are our belief systems. I use the term models of reality. So models of reality are the things about the world that we decide are true. And most of these models of reality we adopt from the time we are kids. So what happens is children, particularly before the age of 9, start activating their meaning-making machine, and they grant meaning to everything that's happening in the world. A father is checking his cell phone when the child is talking to him, and they add a meaning to that. I must not be as important as that thing that my dad is looking at on the phone. A mother sends a child to a corner because he isn't eating well, or he's making a fuss or spilling his food on the table. The mom thinks she's correcting him. She's correcting the kid because she's showing him the consequences of being a messy eater. But what does the kid think? Wow, mom sent me to a corner. I must really be a nuisance to her. Why am I such a nuisance? And then that leads to other questions from the meaning-making machine. I must be a nuisance because I'm not worthy. Maybe I'm a burden. Maybe my parents don't really love me. And as a result, these meaning-making machines from the time we are a kid make us adults that have holes in us. And all of us grew up like that. All of us grew up. My friend Marissa Peer, who's one of the world's foremost hypnotherapists, said the biggest disease afflicting humanity right now is I am not enough. And all of us grow up feeling we're not enough because our meaning-making machines create these models of the world that we are not worthy. that we are not loved, that we are insignificant. But it's not just self-esteem, it's other things as well. You might observe your father struggling with his first business, and you develop a model of reality that to be an entrepreneur is tough. You might hear your parents talking about how hard it is to earn a buck or complain about money, and you decide that money is painful. Money requires hard work. You may have your heart crushed when you're a teenager, and you decide that love is painful. Now the thing is, none of these are true, but what we believe to be true becomes true, and our beliefs are so strong that they literally shift the world forward. There's a famous study by a scientist, a doctor by the name of Dr. Bruce Moseley, and Dr. Moseley, this was a famous article in the New York Times, wanted to see just how powerful beliefs are in terms of their impact on the human body. So he knew that there was this thing called a placebo effect. And if a doctor gives you a pill and tells you it's medicine, the pill can help you get better. But mostly wanted to see, well, how powerful truly are our beliefs? Can the placebo effect be applied to something that requires surgery? So he knew that there was a common practice that they were working on at the Veterans Hospital he was employed by, where they would help veterans with arthritis of the knee overcome their arthritis. Now, Moseley decided to do a test. He brought in 10 veterans. 2 actually had the surgery. The other 8, he put them under general anesthesia, and then he took a scalpel and just poked their knee, created an incision, sewed it back up, bandaged it, woke them up and said, "Congratulations, you had the surgery. Your arthritis should be good." 7 days later, all 10 patients recovered from arthritis. They talked about having less pain, being able to walk again, but only 2 out of 10 had the surgery. So if our beliefs can literally cure arthritis, think about what else our beliefs can do. And that is how models of reality are so important. Now you can see that A, models of reality are important. B, as kids, we really get messed up.
Yes.
And we take these hurts, we take these false models into adulthood. And that's the first lever, but there's a second lever. And the second lever is systems for living. So yes, you can make someone, you can help someone transcend all their models of reality. You can make someone see that your beliefs are hackable, that you can swap out bad beliefs, swap in good beliefs. But it's still not enough. The second thing you need to help someone grow is systems for living. Now, a system for living is anything we do as the human species to get on with the world. How we have sex, how we parent, how we check our email, how we communicate, how we talk, how we give a public speech, how we write a book, how we tap into our intuition. These are all systems for living. Now here's the problem. 2 problems actually. The first is our education system has not caught up. Take this for example. I'm just looking for my phone. Okay, so what do we teach kids in school today? We teach kids stuff that is often absolutely unnecessary. So every kid right now who's a teenager pretty much has access to the entire Encyclopedia Britannica on their smartphone in their wallet. Yet we're teaching kids rote memorization, historical facts, rather than teaching kids how to think, how to be creative, how to solve problems. Systems for education suck. And because the education hasn't upgraded itself, even as adults, we are learning new systems. Now the other problem, so the second problem is that every year we are learning new ways of doing things in the world. Every year there are new ways to be productive. There are new methods to speed read, new methods for learning, for exercise, for health. Just think about new trends that are appearing all the time, from new types of yoga to bulletproof coffee to new types of meditation. A lot of this stuff is new, not being taught in schools right now. And so even as adults, we have an incomplete idea of what it means to be effective. Now, one of the things about systems is that we've built a society that is obsessed with physical systems, but we forget systems to help our conscious self. So we take care of our physical self, but we forget our conscious selves. In other words, we know exercise is important, we know healthy eating is important, but so many of us still fail to meditate, to practice gratitude, to understand that happiness is something that you can control within, to take on practices that make us more compassionate, more kind, more connected, to be able to turn on our intuition. So there's this whole array of conscious systems that very few people in the world right now are actually applying in their lives. And this is a shame because these things are so powerful. Take just one of them, for example, mindfulness. Mindfulness and meditation. As of this year, there are 1,400 studies that show that mindfulness and meditation improve every aspect of your life, from making your heart healthier, to helping you overcome headaches and stress, to sleeping better, to increasing levels of happiness, to making you a more forgiving individual, to making you more compassionate. So many things, yet again, these are only now just being explored. And even then, in only a few institutions and schools around the world. So again, you want to change the human race? The number one thing you do, Nelson Mandela said, the number one thing we can do to change the world is to change education. And that's what consciousness engineering is about. It's about changing education by diving deep to the two things that hold us back from being human, that hold us back from being the next level of who we can be, our beliefs and our systems. And it's about upgrading beliefs and systems consistently and teaching people how to do this. And everything else, I'm looking to re-engineer. So with my company Mindvalley, that's what I do. I build new education models. I'm looking to find an alternative. We're looking to find an alternative to kids who do not want to go to college. I believe we can solve that problem better. We're looking to help improve the curriculums in high schools. Right now, what we're mainly obsessed with is adult curriculum. So we launch online schools in areas that the rest of the education system is ignoring. Conscious practices, personal growth, and so on.
Let's go back to the beliefs, because you rightly said that we didn't grow up with the parenting beliefs and the parenting models that we would actually like to use now for our kids, because it's been upgraded. So how do we go back within our subconscious mind and find those beliefs that we need to change?
Go back with our subconscious mind and find those beliefs that we need to change? Well, there are a couple of things, right? The first thing is you have to realize that your beliefs and your systems are rather like, if you think of a computer, when you want to improve the performance of your computer, you can change the hardware. So you can swap out 100 megabyte hard drive and push in a 500 megabyte hard drive. Or you can change the software by downloading new apps. So think of your beliefs as the hardware and your systems as the apps.
Right.
Your hardware is swappable. You can take out faulty hardware, stick in healthier hardware. So the question is, how do you identify if you have beliefs which are holding you back? Well, one of the first things is to look at where those beliefs came from. Did those beliefs come from rational choice? Did you decide and as an adult choose your religion? Did you decide as an adult that you were going to feel that that work is pleasurable or work is painful? So the first thing is rational choice. Did you take it by rational choice or did you take it by indoctrination? With many religions, and religions have many beautiful things about them, but they also have many nasty beliefs about them that cause much pain and suffering and people being disconnected from who they could be. So the first thing is ask yourself, is it coming from rational choice or from indoctrination? Now the second thing you want to look at is this belief an absolute truth or is it relative truth? Here's what I mean, right? We are trained to believe that certain things are true. But there are two kinds of things which are true. There is absolute truth. I'm holding a glass of water. Drinking water is necessary for survival. That's absolute truth. Everyone in the world will agree with that. You need water. We need water. But then there's relative truth. Relative truth would be things such as work is hard and painful. I hate the 9 to 5. Well, that's relative. There are people out there who love their work. People like me, like the people I work with. Another relative truth is parenting is going to be difficult. The terrible twos. No, I found that when my daughter was 2 years old, it was the best age of her life. So if you see other people who are living a different truth, then what you believe is relative truth. It's not absolute. And as long as it's not absolute, you can change it. And when you understand this, a whole plethora of different belief systems become available to you. Abundance is easy. Being an entrepreneur is easy. Raising kids is a wonderful experience. Love is pleasurable. So once you understand that your beliefs are not you, Your beliefs were implanted in you. And just like a faulty appendix, it can be plucked out. You start to see that almost everything about you is hackable, is improvable. And you, by asking the right questions, can get yourself, just like upgrading a computer, you can upgrade yourself to a whole new level of human performance.
Let's talk now about tools. So if we go back and we could identify, for instance, some of the parenting beliefs that I used to have was if my kids didn't respond to me right away, they were being disobedient. So I used to have that mommy said jump, so say how high sort of attitude. Thankfully, I no longer have that. But when you identify those beliefs, do we have tools that we can rely on to help us upgrade those beliefs or change those beliefs and implant new, healthier belief systems?
Yes, there are many tools you can use from many different instructors. So my program is called Consciousness Engineering. You can Google that, and I teach people to upgrade their beliefs by first explaining the entire model of consciousness engineering and how to hack yourself, and then by bringing in teachers who are among the most incredible people all around the world, from billionaires to biohackers, who talk about how they see the world and why they see the world in that way and what systems they apply. And often just by being exposed to someone, you level up. I'm sure you've heard that famous phrase from Jim Rohn, you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you. Now, why is that? It's because beliefs are infectious. Beliefs spread from mind to mind. If you're with dysfunctional people, you are more likely to catch the disease of dysfunction. But when you're around inspiring people, whether you're learning from an interview or whether you're reading a great autobiography, that helps shift your beliefs. I came to believe entrepreneurship was fun and an adventure after I read Sam Walton's book, Made in America. I came to believe that life was meant to be happy and joyful after I read books such as Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I came to believe that with my mind, I can shift and alter reality after I read books on kind of hokey subjects like the law of attraction. But the thing is, books help. And so when you open up your mind to these new ideas, you allow yourself to grow as well.
You also have a program called Om Harmonics, and I wanted to touch on that a bit because for me, being new to meditation, again, I had old unhealthy beliefs about meditation, that was something hard, that I would never be able to quiet my mind. Can you talk a bit about Om Harmonics and how it can be used for those that are new to meditation so that we can get the benefits of meditation?
No. The reason is because Om Harmonics is nothing more than a series of binaural sounds that help relax your brain, right? But if you want to learn meditation, don't buy my product, okay? If you're an experienced meditator, then Om Harmonics is incredible. It really helps get your meditation to the next level. But if you're in your situation and you're just trying to learn meditation, don't buy my product. Just Google Wisdom 2.0 Vishen. It's a speech I gave at a conference called Wisdom 2.0 at Google HQ in Dublin. And it's a way to hack your brain using an advanced form of meditation that anyone can get started with. So I believe the way meditation is taught in the world today is slow and dysfunctional. And that's one of the reasons why so many people have issues with meditation. It's people have taken Eastern models of meditation, and I'm Indian, so I'm not criticizing my own culture, but people have taken Eastern forms of meditation, brought it to the West, and made you believe that to really master this, you've got to be meditating, clearing your mind, breathing in, breathing out for days on end. Absolute rubbish. The meditation I do doesn't require any of that. It's far more effective. You get all the benefits of Eastern meditation, but it's rooted in Western science. See, I actually go into chambers, hook my brains up to EEG machines, study my brainwave patterns, talk to scientists, to doctors, to leaders in the field, and develop models of meditation which are far more effective. So there's a model I teach called the 6-phase meditation that looks at 6 different aspects of a human being, and in 15 minutes levels up all of these aspects. And those aspects are compassion and connectedness, gratitude, forgiveness, vision for your future, an intention for a perfect day, and a feeling of being supported. So my meditations are I believe are a significant step above many of the meditation programs currently out there, which are rooted in ancient culture, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
but they haven't been upgraded. And my thesis is that anything that hasn't been upgraded, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I believe religion is unnecessary as we move forward in the world because it's not being upgraded, because somehow we figured out that we cannot upgrade these holy books because they came from God. Doesn't make any sense to me. Everything should be consistently validated by science, updated, refined, and improved, because we as a human race get smarter with every generation.
You've got 3 questions, 3 very important questions that can help us identify what drives us as individuals.
Right.
And I'd like to see if we can apply those to the family environment. Can you walk us through those 3 questions now?
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the things that I spoke about systems and how many systems in the world today have not been upgraded. One of the things that needs upgrading right now is the Western idea of goal setting. So far I've criticized religion, I've criticized Eastern philosophy, now I'm going to criticize Western goal setting. And again, this criticism comes with respect. It got us to where we are right now, but there's another level that we need to get to. The problem with goal setting is that too often we train people to chase means goals rather than end goals. A means goal is the idea that you need a graduation certificate, you need a good GPA in college, you then need to apply and get a decent job, work 9 to 5, save up so someday you can retire. Who says that's the point? An end goal, however, is what you really want to chase. End goals are what really make us happy. End goals are waking up next to the person you love, feeling that every single day you're working on something that gives you meaning. End goals might be raising beautiful children. End goals might be being able to run a marathon just because you want to do it and you want to feel yourself, fully experience your human body. End goals might be being able to live in a beautiful home, have freedom to travel all around the world. But that's not what they teach you in school, do they? They tell you that you have to strive to get a GPA, then get a college degree, and so on. Many of the smartest people I know completely skipped college. And many of the smartest people I know completely had horrible grades in school. If you look at the way the world is changing right now, Google, Laszlo Bock at Google, who's Google's hiring head, just said that 15% of the people at Google no longer have a college degree. Google has stopped looking at college degrees. Ernst & Young, the massive accounting firm, 2 weeks ago announced that they have stopped looking at grades when they hire new people to join their massive company. So we've been fed this massive lie that there's a particular path that you have to go through to be successful. And that's the problem. That's means goals. But when you follow that path, you could end up trapped. The reason so many Americans wake up one day at the age of 40 wondering what the hell happened to my life is because they were forced to pick a career before they could legally buy a beer. So what are end goals? The 3 most important questions relate to that. You see, there are 3 different buckets of end goals. The first are experiences. Experiences are things that you want to experience just to be human. Travel, adventure, love, connection, raising kids. The second, growth. Growth is, how do you want to grow? What languages do you want to learn? The way to do it is to first make a list of your experiences and then ask yourself, well, to have these experiences, who is the man or woman I need to be?
Yes.
And then start coming up with ways you can grow. Growth is very important. Tony Robbins in his famous TED Talk said that the 2 greatest spiritual needs we have as human beings is growth, and the third one is contribution. That's the third list. How can I contribute? If I have all these beautiful experiences, if I've grown to be this man or woman, how can I then share this with the rest of the world? So contribution is the third list. Volunteerism, giving, writing a book so you can share knowledge, raising kids, contributing to the company you work for. Contribution, growth, experiences. So experiences, growth, contribution. When you can make a list of these 3 things and forget all the stuff that human society says you must check off, go straight to what directly helps you have experiences, growth, and contribution. And that's when you've done it right. That's when you bypass the dysfunction of modern goal setting and gone straight to what truly matters. And if you do this, you will be happier, much happier years from now than everyone else who's following convention.
Vishen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a wonderful interview, and I think we've got great insight in terms of consciousness engineering and how we can get some additional information from you. So thanks for joining us.
Great, thanks.
Thank you for joining us for this episode. We're all about sharing and supporting this village. So if you found value in this episode, be sure to share it with your family and friends. And remember, this is a weekly show. So if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you'll be notified of our next episode. As we always say in the village, you're just one connection away. With love and gratitude, empower us. Until next time.